How we doing? Right. So, people have been asking me, the Amarok, how am I getting on with it? Well, I've had it now just over 18 months, and you know, I've put a fair few miles on it. Obviously, I've done over 150,000 now. And at this sort of age, just what's it now, coming up to 5-year-old, this truck, it would have done on average about 100,000 miles, but obviously I do a lot more, so you know, I banged the miles on, so I'm at 150,000. It's been good as gold. And then there was suddenly this time came sort of late last year where within the space of like 2 months it basically died. Everything went wrong, all in a short space of time. Now I had, what did I have go? EGR valve, the coolant pump for the EGR valve, coolant pump for the actual heater matrix system, as well as the injectors. And you think, well, you know, why would it all suddenly sort of collapse at once? And I thought, I want to run this truck to 200,000 miles. And you know, go back in the 1990s, early 2000s, VW, Mazda, Toyota, they were all getting 200,000-300,000 miles out of a vehicle. So by now, the technology should take us to 500,000 miles. You know, that's how it should work, shouldn't it, if we've got, you know, that far. But these are failing at around 100,000. I just thought, you know, unlucky possibly. But then you start looking online and you start listening to other people. And by chance, I spoke to a mate of mine. He's got a Mazda. Had a Mazda before, just did 260,000. He decided to update it, so he got another one. Got this 14 plate Mazda. Done just over 100,000. He's got transmission issues. He's got other issues, electronic issues and stuff. And I said, this can't be right. You know, he said, no, I know. And we started talking. He spoke to his Mazda people. I speak to the VW people, other, you know, that I know, and other people within the industry. And it turns out that in the last, we'll say, I don't know, 6-7 years, the manufacturers have got together and basically put a shelf life on cars. You say, well, they wouldn't do that, they can't do that. Well, think about it. Go back 10-15 years ago, even it's nearly 20 now, they started this scrappage scheme, didn't they? So you take your car in for a new one, and rather than, you know, punt the old one out into the trade, they'd park it on an airfield till the price of scrap went up and then scrap them all. What have they done with that? They've got you into a new car and they've taken all the potential second-hand cars off the market. So all those cars, those, you know, thousands, tens of thousands of cars that would have gone at the second-hand market and other people have bought them, and now saying, you know, there's no second-hand cars, or the price of second-hand cars has gone up, but you might as well buy new. They've edged you into buying a new car. But that, you know, that only has so much momentum. So apparently what they've done is said, look, a car should have a potential life of about 100,000 miles. Some will do more, some will do less, but about 100,000 miles, or a sort of 5 to 6 year lifespan. And I heard this and I said, how can they do that? It's quite simple. You know, these components, most of them being electronic, pumps, valves, injectors, all electronically controlled, basically fail. The pumps, they had open circuit issues, that's what they were. Nothing wrong with the pump, just had an open circuit, therefore it wouldn't work. And then, you know, engine management light would come on, eventually go into limp mode. So you think, well, why would they do that? Well, think about it. These cars before were doing, as we said, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 miles. And then getting a second life with other people, you know, as a second-hand car. Well, that meant that your average car, somebody would buy that car and the dealer wouldn't see them for another 10 or 15 years. You can't run an industry or a business on having a customer return every 10 to 15 years, can you? I mean, you know, it's just common sense. But if within, let's just say 3, 4, 5 years, you start getting expensive repair bills looming, you know, you go in and for the sake of the argument, the injectors on this, we had the injectors pulled and tested, and I saw the test reports. They're Bosch, had it done at Bosch, and 2 were over fueling at certain revs, 1 was under fueling, and 1 basically wasn't working at all. He said, well, we'll replace that one. I said, replace all 4, because if I do 1 this month, you know what's going to happen next month. The other ones are going to fail. You've got to go through it all again. So just do all 4. Retail, the injectors were 400 quid plus the VAT each. Retail. I was able to get them for half of that. But it's still a chunk of money. And you think your average person, you know, turn up in their little, you know, Passat or Golf or whatever, and suddenly get told you got a, you know, basically you got 1,500 quid's worth of injectors plus labour. You might be looking at 2.5 grand of a repair bill. You know, who can stomach that in one hit? You know, your average person on the street. And so, but then see what they can then do is say, but we'll give you a good price on a trade-in. If you give us like 300 quid, sign here, this afternoon you can drive out in this, you know, brand new car, and you're back on the treadmill again, aren't you, for the next few years? Warranty and everything all sorted and done, you're happy motoring, you know. But that's where they're trying to get you to. So the more cynical side of us looks at it and goes, I wonder when you go in and have a service and they say, oh, we've done all your software upgrades as well. Oh, that's good. Are they then virtually pushing a button to get a timer started, a countdown to something, you know, having an open circuit or failing? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But hey, you know, it's no good sort of saying that they'd never do that. Apple did. Apple did it with the iPhone. You were getting upgrades and they were, you know, depleting the life of your battery. So you had to go and buy another phone. We know that. So don't say it doesn't go on. It does. I don't know if that's what's going on in the motor industry, but it just seems like everything suddenly failed at once and they were all electronically controlled. I don't know. But as I said, I spent a bit of money on it and I want to run this to 200,000 miles. I do like it, so I think it was worth doing. But there'll be other people say, oh, I'll run mine for, you know, 10 million miles and never put a you know, good for you. But vehicles, trucks, cars, pickups, and I think possibly even tractors, manufacturers are looking at this almost this, you know, shelf life now, where it is good for so many years, so many hours or so many miles as such, and then at some point around there you will start getting issues. So but anyway, like I said, I still like the old thing. So there we are. Like I said, it's been a brilliant pickup truck. I want to keep it a bit longer. I do like the old thing. I really do. I may even just keep hold of it. If I get something new, I might just keep this as a backup truck. But yeah, like I said, it's had its issues. We've got it, you know, hopefully touch wood, we've got it all done and we can, you know, get a few more miles out of it now. But I think whatever manufacturer you've gone for, if it's, you know, let's just say 5 years or newer, you know, these issues are going to crop up. Some of you might be lucky out there, you might, you know, avoid them somehow, but I think the majority are going to start finding that you will get issues. And when you do get these issues, they're not so much mechanical, you know, they will be an electronic component failure, or something that's actually governed electronically. So that's what you got to look forward to. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and look after yourselves, and well, mind how you go. Do well.